you come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. I have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
This segment of Terrence Howard being interviewed by Patrick Bet David was one of those rare moments where the truth cuts through the noise. You can watch the full interview on the Value Attainment YouTube channel, but this particular part really stood out to me. What Terrence says here reminded me so much of what Katt Williams talked about during his appearance on Club Shay Shay. Back then, Katt was ridiculed, called bitter, jealous, just for speaking out, but he was telling the truth. And now, here we are, hearing almost the same message from someone else who's been inside the machine. Terrence opens up about the dark side of Hollywood, especially how the industry works so hard to feminize men. We've all seen male actors being made to dress or act like women in roles that could have easily gone to actual women. And for what? There's something deeper going on, something most people overlook. But when you listen to Terrence, you realize this isn't just an opinion, it's a warning.
You know, there's a short life in
Why do you think that is with the creative side?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far.
Terrence starts by breaking down why so many creatives don't last in the industry. It's not just the pressure of fame or chasing money, it's the emotional toll. People turn to drugs, lose their grip on reality, just trying to cope. He describes it as a toxic space where people push themselves too far just to survive. And then he brings up a powerful point, the idea of losing your man card. According to him, a man doesn't take, he gives. But when you give up your masculinity out of fear, desperation, or ambition, you lose something spiritual. And once it's gone, it doesn't come back. That loss can haunt you. A lot of people try to numb it, hoping it'll go away, but it never really does.
You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what Heath had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Terrence talks about being invited by Puff to help with acting, but realizing something was off. Later, his assistant let him know what the real motive was. That moment, and others like it, showed him the truth. He shares how some producers cross lines, and how he had to call them out. Because when you approach a real man the wrong way, you're going to get a real response. There's a difference between a guy and a man, and Terrence has always made sure people know which one he is.
If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal.
No.
Puffy invited me for weeks asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman.
And in the end, he reflects on what it's cost him to stay true to who he is. He's turned down roles, lost opportunities, and been overlooked, but he never compromised. He doesn't play gay roles, doesn't kiss men on screen, and won't bow to pressure from the industry. For him, keeping his man card isn't negotiable. He says he's still working, still building, but deep down, he already feels fulfilled. He's proved his point, earned his patents, and now he's moving forward on his own terms. And as he wraps up, he invites people to connect, to have real conversations, and to think deeply.
You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.